If the ultimate reality of the universe is purely singular, we are left with a massive contradiction. Why does our physical world contain millions of completely distinct human forms, countless animal species, and billions of individual minds? This gap between a single source and a fractured world is a question that has driven seekers for centuries. The 16th century poet Poonthanam addresses this by explaining the interaction between three specific forces: Maya, the individual soul, or Jeevatma, and the three qualities that govern all natural movement. To follow his logic, we have to start with the baseline from our previous episode. Before the universe began, nothing existed except one solitary supreme consciousness. So how did that solitary consciousness result in such a complex universe of matter and form? And why do we, as human beings, naturally feel so isolated from it? By identifying how reality appears to fracture from oneness into separation, we can begin to see through the physical world and recognize the constant consciousness that underpins it all. Poonthanam's verse begins with a blunt premise. Ordinary human perception is entirely unequipped to detect the supreme reality. Our senses are built to observe the surface, not the source. When we look outward, human faces, towering trees, and wild animals all look entirely different from one another, but the life force operating inside them is exactly the same. Physical bodies age and decay, personal identities shift, environmental forms are in a state of constant change, yet the underlying inner consciousness observing all of this never alters. This diagram shows one consciousness animating all beings. A central power source pushes energy outward, giving life to a lamp, a tree, and a human. The devices differ, but the current is identical. Why do we still experience a profound sense of difference? Poonthanam identifies the cause as Maya. Maya is a divine power of illusion that masks the singular reality and projects the appearance of a crowded, divided world. This illusion has a direct psychological effect. It leads us to identify exclusively with our temporary bodies and minds, prompting us to focus on I, mine, and yours. We can see how the supreme consciousness appears divided without actually being split. Think of a single sun positioned high in the sky. When you look down, you see its perfect reflection in dozens of separate lotus ponds. The reflections are many, but the sun is singular. In this framework, societal and personal divisions are the result of perception. The fundamental baseline of reality remains unified and untouched by the diversity of the physical world. To explain how this illusion actually operates in our daily lives, Poonthanam introduces the Gunas, the three variables that dictate how nature and the human mind function. This wheel illustrates those variables. The first is Sattva, the force of purity, wisdom, and internal harmony. The second is Rajas, driving worldly activity, desire, and constant movement. The third is Tamas, the force pulling toward ignorance, inertia, and heaviness. Every individual contains all three of these qualities, but they are mixed in unique, constantly shifting proportions. The specific ratio of these three gunas at any given second influences our thoughts, our emotional reactions, and our life choices. These forces drive the world until the cosmic cycle ends. When the universe collapses, these variables dissolve and merge back into the resting supreme reality. Human behavior and shifting personalities are not our permanent state. They are the temporary outputs of the three gunas interacting within the field of Maya. All observable differences in the world, from the variety of species to our individual personalities, belong to this temporary world of appearances. As long as our focus remains entirely on those outer forms, we continue to experience the world through the lens of separation. When we look past the surface influence of the gunas, the focus shifts from the diverse crowd to the single consciousness shared by everyone. But if we are part of a unified, mechanically driven cosmic system, how do our daily actions actually function within it? Next time, we look at the rules of cause and effect. What are the three classifications of karma? And why are even morally good deeds considered a restrictive chain on the soul? Moving past the veil of Maya means realigning our perception with the singular supreme reality that exists beneath the many.